Letters to the editor for July 11th, 2025. And today we have one letter to the editor in the Jamaica Observer, and we have two from the Jamaica Gleaner. So let's go ahead and start with the Jamaica Observer. And the writer of this letter is Oneil Madden, and his letter is entitled "Who Feels It Really Knows It." Let's get into it and see what he has to say. Transportation is a critical part of our daily operations to get people, goods, and services from point A to point B. An efficient and effective transportation system is, therefore, vital to citizens' fundamental development. It ensures that employees and students get to work and school safely and on time. For several years, rural students have suffered due to poor or absent transportation systems in their vicinities. Many have had to wake up extra early to take the bus or taxi to get to school early. Otherwise, they would arrive late, which has consequences. Additionally, some students pay exorbitant fares to and from school, and some miss school regularly simply because their parents cannot afford to cover transport costs and lunch money. Furthermore, some students have to lap up, endure discomfort due to 5 people in a bus row, or travel in a taxi trunk due to the poor rural transportation system. It is even more tiring given the hilly, bumpy, and pothole-ridden roads that exist in some areas. Therefore, it is outright disappointing for the People's National Party (PNP) to not support the rural school bus system being implemented by Transport Minister Darrell Vaz. Understandably, it is an election year, and both the PNP and the Jamaica Labour Party, the JLP, have been intensifying their campaigns. But the PNP does itself a disservice by opposing this brilliant initiative simply for opposing's sake. In fact, both PNP President Mark Golding and Senator Peter Bunting continued to behave tone deaf and doubled down that they would not retract their flawed position on the matter. They, along with other irrational party diehards, believe their proposal to contract taxi drivers would be a better solution. Ironically, spokesperson on education, Senator Damian Crawford, who is also a mathematics lecturer, has repeatedly called out Minister Vaz on his incorrect calculations of the number of students who would benefit from the rural bus system. But isn't the overall rural bus system a better option than the PNP's ill-advised plan to recruit taxi and bus operators? While a significant portion of the citizenry relies on taxis and public passenger buses, have the comrades forgotten that many students who have died due to accidents involving these taxis and buses? Are they unaware that some of these drivers overcharge students and adults after peak hours and whenever it rains? Are they oblivious to the concerns and reality that some of these drivers and conductors are sexual predators and groomers? It is encouraging to see that parents, principals, teachers, and even taxi drivers and operators have commended the rural bus initiative. Who feels it knows it. Having struggled with transportation as a rural native in my high school years, I strongly endorse the rural school bus system. Imagine leaving home at 4:30 a.m. and not returning home until 10 p.m. some days. There were days when the police were doing their duties and we had to walk a good distance because the driver or his bus was not straight. Other times, drivers told us that they were not taking any schoolers. Rural students have long been marginalized and underserved. Students do not have a say where they are born or raised. Therefore, the government is doing the right thing to attempt to provide access, equity, and equality. No child should be denied access to education because of transportation issues. There is a crisis. Therefore, a practical solution is needed, and it is unfortunate that the PNP only sees old buses. As it is, the buses are being retrofitted to align with our road code, and some are being adjusted to cater to children with certain physical disabilities. Additionally, cameras are being installed and wardens will be assigned on each trip. Importantly also, Mr. Vaz noted that the standard fare will be $50 per one-way trip irrespective of students' destination. That is great news. Indubitably, this is a great investment. I travel extensively and see what obtains in other countries. An effective transportation system is essential to human capital and development. The Cayman Islands, just next door, has a similar school bus system. It guarantees certainty and security. As we expect the rollout in September, may both adults and students see the need to take care of these properties. And this was written by Oneil Madden. And let us move now to the Gleaner. The first letter to the editor we're going to read to you. Let me see who the author is. This one was actually written by Mary Lemmy, and the title of her letter to the editor is the rural school bus system sustainable? Let's see what she has to say. With all this pride and jubilation about the pending school bus system in Jamaica by the current administration, permit me to underscore a few noteworthy ideas. First, a bus system was indeed a necessity. I am befuddled that the government would make an handsome investment in second-hand buses. Wouldn't it be better to invest in some new coaster buses with Jamaica's unique brand and style? Each school would be offered one of these buses with the school's name. Did they consider the possible mechanical flaws and the strain to the country's budget when these used buses start to malfunction? Whether or not also we are accepting of this, culture and norms are primary factors that probably were not considered while selecting these buses. Scores of students will be reluctant to ride in these buses, especially some of the high schoolers. One should not be surprised if these buses go about empty. As absurd as this idea may sound, I fully know the mindset of the students I have taught over the years. They haven't grown with this big yellow bus system. Do we not know that there could have been the implementation of a well-structured bus system that would be more welcoming by the students without trying to pattern other countries? Implementation of the bus system also is a crucial factor. I'm hoping the government would have already seriously considered. I have taught in the United States for the past 5 years, and what I have noted is that the school bus system is not merely providing buses, but it is a uniformed, well-structured process that is fully accountable for every single child that rides on any bus. Many of these buses in the US have cameras, and bus drivers are able to issue referrals or other disciplinary measures to erring students. These are other strict guidelines that have to be sanctioned by the schools, parents, and all relevant stakeholders. The government should not just be unloading these big yellow monsters on the road, but also detail the implementation plans. If we are going to copy other countries, we should be willing to copy their best practices. Also, are the roads conducive for these buses? If a bus system is in place, it is only fair that every nook and cranny of the islands benefit. I really hope that this introduction of the school bus system is not simply to generate election scores, but rather a well thought over plan analyzing pros and cons by all relevant stakeholders. And that article again was written by Mary Lemmy, who apparently happens to be a teacher and seems to be currently a teacher in the United States. And the final letter for July 11th, Friday, July 11th, is actually the letter of the day for the Gleaner. And let's see who this was written by Dudley Mclean II. And he also provides an email address if you'd like to reach him, dm15094@gmail.com. That's D as in dog, M as in Mary, so it's dm15094@gmail.com. So Dudley Mclean II, his letter to the editor was letter of the day. Let's see what the title is, and let's go ahead and read it and see if you agree or disagree. Letter of the day: decline in Jamaica's monetary base is concerning. RJR 94 FM, in its July 9 financial news, quoted Bank of Jamaica stating that the country's monetary base has declined by $17 billion by the end of June 2025. This significant decrease carries serious implications for our economy. The monetary base serves as a critical indicator of liquidity in the economy, influencing inflation rates, interest rates, and overall economic growth. A decline of this magnitude suggests that there is less money circulating within the economy, which can lead to numerous adverse effects. The reduction in the monetary base could hinder business investment and consumer spending. When the money supply contracts, financial institutions may tighten lending standards, making it more difficult for businesses to secure loans for expansion or operations. This contraction can stall economic growth, potentially leading to job losses and reduced consumer confidence. Further, a decrease in the monetary base could have deflationary effects. As the supply of money dwindles, prices may stabilize or even decrease, which can be detrimental to economic growth. While low inflation might seem beneficial, prolonged deflation can lead to a decrease in consumer spending, as people may hold off on purchasing goods and services in anticipation of lower prices in the future. This change in consumer behavior can exacerbate economic stagnation. Additionally, the decline in the monetary base could impact government revenues. With sluggish economic activity, tax collections may decrease, leading to budgetary constraints for the government. This may hinder social programs, infrastructure development, and other critical services that support the Jamaican populace. It is crucial for policymakers to address this issue proactively. Strategies such as quantitative easing or other stimulative monetary policies may need to be considered to restore liquidity and encourage economic growth. Collaboration between the Bank of Jamaica and the government is essential to navigate these turbulent waters and reassure the public and investors of our economic stability. The reported decline in the monetary base not only signals challenges for the Jamaican economy, but also calls for immediate attention from all stakeholders. It is imperative that we engage in meaningful dialogue and action to mitigate the repercussions of this development. Dudley Mclean II. Alright, so there you have it. Those are the letters for the day from the Jamaica Observer and the Jamaica Gleaner. Let me know what your thoughts on the current hot topics in Jamaica are. Please share your feedback and stay tuned to tomorrow's letters of the day. I am Shane Harper and I hope you continue to enjoy listening. Have a good day.